waiting for me. Someone called him to please in Twitter. He will not be there, so Michael Jackson will be there. So I need to go there because the interview is going to be in a few minutes. See you there.
You made it!
Yeah!
Welcome to my latest experiment. This is a big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
I can do 90.
I want to thank our storytellers partner, New York. So we have a round of applause for Monica. Tonight I'm honored to introduce two incredible entertainers. One is a first-rate actor and writer, kind of. You know him, you might remember him from Footloose and Mystic River. Is Kevin Bacon here? No. So sorry. I mean, Rescue Me, The Thomas Crown Affair, The Sandlot, and Spider-Man. He's also the author of A Feel-Good Guide to Staying Fat, Loud, Lazy, and Stupid. He's also given us gems of wisdom like, youth is not wasted on the young. That's why they can party all night and still find their cell phones in the morning. He's been a huge friend to this festival since we first began in 2002 and has just been a wonderful friend to me personally. He also made one of my favorite movies, Wag the Dog, in 1997. The other is a world-famous actor who really needs no introduction, but here's one anyway. His dozens of credits include turns in The Frighteners, Scrubs, Boston Legal, Rescue Me, I feel a theme here, The Good Wife, and as the voice of Stuart Little. His portrayal of Marty McFly in the 1985 blockbuster Back to the Future defined a generation. But he's also an incredible risk taker, and he's a tireless advocate for those who suffer from Parkinson's disease. As the founder of the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research, which is at the forefront of researching the disease and developing improved therapies for those living with it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Denis Leary and Michael J. Fox.
You know, like I always get a standing ovation when I walk out on stage. I'm assuming. Well, let's just review the facts. First of all, those are two very long introductions.
And I don't know if they mentioned a couple of important things, because I couldn't really hear because we were making fun of each other backstage. But leading up to this event, I started to notice some things on Twitter and other places that were about this long and talking about national treasure, Michael J. Fox, blah, 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 national treasure, Michael J. Fox, blah, 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 national treasure, Michael J. Fox, and his pal, Denis Leary. And I was like, fuck. No, but here's the thing, right? To me, if that's my legacy, if when I'm gone they say, hey, he was friends with a fucking national treasure, Michael J. Fox, I'm in. You know what I mean? Because that shit, that impresses my mom. You know what I mean? Like this guy is like, he's an international treasure, actually, because he's already a national treasure in Canada. And now, I'm assuming we've made you a national treasure here. So
the paper's being filed.
Yeah. So this thing here, I
applications are
want to
in.
make sure they can see this. This thing here, this little flower metal.
Stuff like that.
I'm just going to explain it in layman's terms and not get into all official Canadian bullshit. But Mike was knighted by fucking Canada. He's a Sir Michael J. Fox. Fox, yeah. Sir Michael J. Fox.
It's called the Order of Canada, and it's not Sir. I don't know. If you put an OC at the end of your name, and everyone thinks it's Orange County. But I have a few friends Canadian friends that learn Mike Myers that also, and they always wear them. I see them at the grocery store. They're wearing the Order of Canada, and they always give me shit for not wearing it. So I thought I'd wear it, and he's giving me shit for wearing it.
No. I'm not giving you shit for wearing it.
Oh, you like it? Because
Dude, if I had one of those, and by the way, I think I should. Okay.
I think you should too.
Because is there a person in America who should be an honorary Canadian more than me? Is there a fucking bigger hockey fan except for you than me in this fucking country? And I know Bobby Orr.
Yeah.
I met Bobby Orr through you.
Yeah. No, you knew Bobby Orr before I met Bobby Orr.
No, I think I met Bobby Orr through you.
Were you at the game? The game I always tell the story about with Bobby Orr. I met Bobby Orr at the Garden, and he was playing in a game against celebrities. I thought you were on the team.
No.
And I was sitting talking to George Wendt, who was the celebrity goalie. That was just because he's the biggest body. And he said, look, there's Bobby Orr. And I had been a Bobby Orr fan my whole life, and I was like flipping out. I said, Bobby Orr. And then Bobby Orr starts to come over. And George starts to leave. I said, where are you going, George? He said, I can't deal. It's too much for me. And so Bobby Orr comes up to me, starts talking to me, and he's, putting on my skates, and Bobby Orr's talking to me, to my leg, and walks away, and I went, I don't understand a fucking word he said. I don't even know what he said to me. Bobby Orr was talking to me. I don't know what he said to me. And then at the end of the first period, I was taking the puck out of the corner, and I got it. Bobby Orr was on the blue line. And I did a little deke, and I put the puck between his legs, and I broke around him, and I broke away and scored. And then I got to the bench, and I was pouring water on myself, and I was feeling like, wow. I realized what he said to me. He said, towards the end of the first period, I'm going to let you put the puck between my legs. That's my Bobby Orr story.
Hey, that's saying a lot. That's saying, fuck. Just knowing Bobby Orr. First of all, if you're not a hockey fan, you probably still know that name. That's how big a thing it was. I grew up in Boston, so, Bobby Orr, and I'm a huge hockey fan, a huge Bruins fan, a huge Bobby Orr fan. So at that moment in time when Bobby Orr finally first talks to you, it really is. It's like the closest you can come to talking to Jesus. You don't really you hear what he's saying, but not really, because you can't believe he's acting like he knows you,
In my book, I compare him to the Pope. And in his book, he remarked that I compared him to the Pope and how flattered he was. And I thought, he got it. Other people thought I was joking. Bobby knew I was like a full-on, I was a Protestant, but I was down on my knees. He was the Pope of hockey.
True story.
No, from you?
True.
It's getting tight.
So you're going to shit on me tonight, too. Yeah.
Oh, things go right. What was his plan?
And I think this was 1978, but it might have been 79. But if you were alive at that time, you remember this. Remember when the two popes died like really close together? Yeah. Like one guy died in his sleep, and then they elected a new guy, and he fucking died like 3 weeks later, okay? That was a true thing that happened.
I mean, Cuba, there was a really nasty scene. I remember on my way to work, and I'm not condoning this or saying it was great, but it was just really remarkable of the moment. It said, "Long live dead popes."
Yes, right.
There were two popes died within a week.
With it, yeah, it was crazy. Well, Bobby Orr retired right as the second pope died, and the headline on the front page of the Boston Globe said literally, "Pope dies, Bobby Orr retires." I'll never fucking forget that. I remember as a lapsed Catholic, I was like, "Pope died, oh, Bobby Orr's fucking retiring? No!" But listen, I wanted to touch on a couple other things. First of all, I want to go back to this just so did somebody drop something backstage? I do want to mention this because I'm joking, but I'm not joking. If you could speak to the people that gave you that pin and just mention, it might be nice for Canada to like get an American guy and make him like an honorary fucking, what is it, OBE? OC?
OC.
Okay. And I think you could nominate me. I've got some fucking charity work, okay? I'm a huge hockey fan, and I know Bobby Orr.
Yeah, I get you in. You know how you meet her?
Yeah, if I could get, the main reason I want it is just to piss off Mike Myers the next time I see him.
Well, Mike is out of Canada.
So.
He's got an OC. I saw him at a party like 2 weeks ago, and he had the pin on, and I said, "What are you wearing the pin?" He said, "You got to wear the pin all the time." So, but I'm not supposed to say this, but Mike, like they called me, like they called people who are already OCs, and they asked new people that are nominated what they think of him, and they called me about Mike Myers and said, "Mike Myers, what do you? Yeah, let him in. You can stay at my place.
Let him in? So it's like this fucking club.
You can stay at my place."
So I wanted to mention, I think I wrote it down on my phone. Yeah, fuck you.
What are you going on there?
I can't remember anything anymore. I can remember my lines and who I'm angry at in the Bruins lineup for losing the last game. But to speak in front of a group of people to Sir Michael J. Fox, I have to write shit down.
Just remember your lane?
Yeah, okay, so I did want to say this. And this is kind of kissing your ass a little bit, which is, I don't do very often.
No, you don't say a lot.
I don't do it in private at all. But I did want to say this because this is really true about Mike. And I know when we go to Q&A, people will ask questions about Back to the Future and those movies, as they should. And that is, part of your legacy will be that fucking, that set of movies. By the way, I love those movies. And him and Chris Lloyd, by the way, just fucking comedy dynamite. I mean, God, as a comedian, or a guy who supposedly was a comedian at the time, young, unknown comedian. I remember seeing that first movie. You had come out of Family Ties, which I didn't really watch. I mean, I watched it, but wasn't like.
You were in a demo.
I wasn't like, yeah, I wasn't your demo. But I remember seeing Back to the Future and going like, this fucking guy's timing is unbelievable. Your timing is unbelievable. But also, the two of you when you were on screen together is just fucking ridiculous.
Well, the thing about Chris is, I'll do with Chris first, because it's really amazing. I talk about this all the time when we do panels and stuff. Chris did this thing in the movie, in Back to the Future. He did, like, there's a thing that we call in acting, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar, laying pipe, doing exposition, telling, you see it on all the hour-long dramas. They say, he was there with the weapon, and the next guy goes, because you got the weapon from the safe, and they're laying pipe. And it's really a shitty thing to do. It's really boring to do, and no one wants to lay pipe. But Chris Lloyd elevated laying pipe to higher, to just the great. I mean, all he did was say, "Here's the rules." And he was the guy who came out and said, "Here's the rules. Here's how this works. You can go 88 miles per hour, and you can do this, and you have to be back by Tuesday." And I mean, he got that out in the most entertaining. He made you think that he was just doing this, but he was laying pipe. He had to do that. There was a job he had to do, and he did it as spectacularly as it's ever been done.
I can't think of an example in television or film where a guy laid pipe Because you didn't even realize it was Blaine Pipe. You thought it was a comedy scene between the two of you. He's fucking flying around the room saying all these fucking rules, and you're laughing your balls off, and then you're the straight man, right? So they're bouncing back and forth. Meanwhile, you have no idea that you were just told all the rules in the first movie to all the movies that will follow once he's laid those down. Really fucking brilliant. But that's not what I didn't want to jump into Back to the Future. What I want to talk about...
this is the Chris Lloyd.
Huh?
It's the Chris Lloyd story.
Yeah, Chris Lloyd's fucking great.
He's great.
He's a very quiet guy, too. I did a movie with him. We both had smaller parts in some movie. I can't remember the movie now. But we were in the ensemble. It was like... I know, it's fucking crazy. If you Google it, you'll find it and be able to yell it out. But it was a movie like where Catherine Keener was the star. And then we all kind of revolved around her. But anyways, it was the first time I met him. And we did multiple days together. He's just the quietest guy. Like, he's sort of shy.
I didn't get to know him until after part 3 when they started with the anniversaries. And like 5th anniversary, 10th anniversary. And then started to talk to him. But it was just like we liked each other. We loved working together. We had a great time. But just not that much to say. And as we've gotten, he stayed the same age and I've gotten older and catching up with him, we have more to say. And I just saw him this weekend. We were up in Calgary at an expo, and he's just a great guy. He's so gifted.
He's such a great fucking actor. But so the thing I was going for, which I remember, I don't have to go back to the phone. Just need to know where it is. It's in my pocket, so I don't fucking forget it here. Was, you get a lot of credit for that, which rightfully so, and you get a lot of credit for Family Ties. So in general, it's like your comedy timing, I think, is set legacy-wise. When they talk about Sir Michael J. Fox, they talk about that. I'm fucking saying it now for the rest of your life. So fuck you. The thing that I would like to touch on, because I had a personal experience with it, is your dramatic acting, which people don't talk about enough, which is sort of like the second part of your career. And I got to witness it firsthand because Mike did a role on Rescue Me, which, when we gave it to him, like a lot of things on Rescue Me, it was dramatic and had moments that were funny. And also because we knew each other, even though we hadn't been on camera together yet, I was like, we're going to be able to find pockets to improvise with. But my first day with him was a really fucking hardcore dramatic scene where he's rip shit in this bar and he's fucking yelling at me. And I still remember the first take on that because they were running 2 cameras and Mike has this big fucking monologue and I've got to listen to it. The first take I went, motherfucker is stealing the fucking show right out from under my feet. And also, while I was looking at him, he was not Mike. Mike was gone. There was this guy, and I know Mike. I mean, I know when he's angry. I know when he's funny. And I'm looking in his eyes. I'm going, he is this fucking guy that we wrote. And so that doesn't get enough credit, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of your career. Because after that, also, on The Good Wife, that character as well. And you've been rewarded with. You got an Emmy for Rescue Me. Did you get an Emmy for Good Wife? Yeah, another one.
Well, I did a Here's Boomer in 1979. It was my favorite work. But
right.
I think you're right. It's sweet. I love that show. Spader is a guy. What an actor he is.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah, but that's one of those things I think. When you talk, and I'm kissing your ass here because it's really fucking true. When you can do that giant level of comedy in massive, successful blockbuster style, and then come back later in your career and start to do these really fucking interesting guys that are all different from each other, and like I said, having been across from you in the same scene, you're like, this guy's. It's crazy how much fucking talent there is in there, which is why they made you a sir.
Well, I mean, not to talk acting, but the thing that was really interesting in my career is that when I was young and callow and crazy youth, I relied a lot on physical comedy and speed, and I made things fast and played these timing games and then after I had been diagnosed with Parkinson's and had Parkinson's, I realized I had a completely different. I didn't work for 3 or 4 years on purpose because I can't do what I did, and I just can't go back there and do that anymore. And I realized I don't have to do that. I can do something else. And I thought, well, I'll just do less. I'll just do less and see what happens. And and the less turned out to be okay. And I'm glad because I didn't have any more. I just had less. And it gets to be where I was just like, at times when I was younger, and to great effect and to great success, I would do a bunch of stuff. Now I just sat there and just was there. And people really liked it. I went, wow, I've been working too hard. But doing your show was an amazing experience. It was so fun. It was fun to rip into that guy because that was the guy who was I had this run lined up one day. He was a misogynistic, misanthropic, drug addict, sex addict, alcoholic, philanderer, drunk driver. This guy's just a scumbag. And he had but his backstory was that they had written that was so clever was that he was what do you call those athletes? Extreme athlete. He did like hang gliding and parasailing and all this stuff. And he was playing hockey with his brother, and they come back from a hockey game, and a guy ran a red light and killed his brother and crippled him, and he was in a wheelchair. And I remember thinking as I was doing it, I was thinking, I know this guy. This is the guy that I would have been if I'd made different choices, with my diagnosis and with what happened in my life. And I just it was just this affirmation thing where I could go, wow, I didn't do that. That's so freaking great that I didn't do that. And at the same time, I could do that by playing the role. And I could really take it and just say, where would this go with me? Because I don't know much about acting, but I know that people have told me, acting teachers that I've talked to, one thing is like, if you laugh, if you're in a scene and you laugh, and you just can't stop laughing, just keep laughing. Just laugh until you can't laugh anymore. If you're crying, cry until you can't cry anymore. Don't like if that stuff happens, just get on. I mean, this you only get those rides every once in a while. Other times you have to push the thing and get in it when it's rolling and then try to land the plane. That expression is used too much these days. But it's really been an interesting ride the last 5 or 10 years of my acting career because I've been able to do these different characters and also guys with psych disabilities, whether in a wheelchair, like from a traffic accident. In Denis' show or The Good Wife, I have a version of Parkinson's, a tardive dyskinesia. But what was great about the Good Wife is that I got to prove that handicapped people can be assholes too. Disabled people are capable of being jerks. I mean, you don't have to play soft piano music every time they come in the room and be all sentimental. I mean, there's some real asshole quadriplegics. I know there's asshole Parkinson's patients.
Yeah, but that goes back to, one of my favorite Mike Fox stories. When you were writing your book, and this goes back to when you were writing your book about optimism. Some of you might know this story, but when you were in the kitchen one day, pissed off, and Tracy was like, "What's wrong?" And you were like, "I can't finish my fucking book on optimism."
I'm never going to finish my fucking book on
optimism. All the complicated shit is in there. You know what I mean? Like, that optimism thing is what you wrote a best-selling book about it. So it's a big part of your real-life personality, but also the darker side, which I think is your sense of humor, because this guy is one of the darkest, funniest, most sarcastic guys I've ever met in my life. He makes me laugh.
Oh, you bring it out of me.
Yeah, I bring the devil out, but the devil's in there, right? And having played hockey with and against him, like, I know at the core of his character is like, do not fuck with him. You know, especially big guys fucking with him because he's always small and fast. It was the wrong guy because not only is he going to score, but he's going to fucking hit you from behind or fucking cross-check you or whatever. So guys learn that lesson really fast with him. But he's got a deep well of anger, and I mean it in a good way. And is not afraid to access it, which is what made those parts work as an actor, is that you were accessing emotionally those dark parts of your psyche or your personality, your life experience. But you keep on fucking coming back. You make me feel, I consider myself an Irish optimist, which means I look forward to the worst happening and getting it over with. But you're sort of unrelenting, like, you know, with this disease or with the diagnosis itself, or as you continue to fight it, you just go like, okay, the next fucking barrier comes up and you go, all right, fuck that, let's knock it down, which is really admirable. And it makes me feel better knowing you, because it makes, my rage is just there, it's not gonna go away. I make a living off of it, kind of, right? But when I get full of myself, I go like, you know what the fuck? You know?
You become one of my favorite kind of people in my. I fall a lot down. I have the spine thing too, in addition to Parkinson's, and I had a rough year. It was a rough year, and I fell a lot. And it took me, after I had the spinal surgery, I had to learn to walk again, and I learned to walk, and I was really cocky about it, and I was walking. I'm walking. I'm no walker. I got no aids. I got no cane, I was. Everyone was out of the house. We were at the beach, and I stayed in the city. I said, I'm okay by myself. I'm walking again. I'm doing great. And I fell and shattered my humerus. And a broken humerus is no fucking joke. Think about it. It was. I mean, I really got grim. I mean, I had I was the guy that made lemonade out of lemons, but I was out of the fucking lemonade business. I was just, I can't do this anymore. I can't do that. But then I realized, like I said, I would say I have to take every step one step at a time now. I have to concentrate on every step I take so I don't fall down. And I thought, well, that's slowing life down. I mean, I get more time that way. I mean, every step is a new adventure. Every step is it could fall down. It might not fall down. I might get where I'm going. I might go off this way a little bit. I may go backwards. Who knows? And that doesn't suck. That's all right. And of course I have this fabulous family, which is what makes everything easier. But I feel sometimes like I don't want to be selling people the optimism thing, because people have tough time, and people have depression. There's a real depression, and if things happen to them, then I can't even comprehend them. Make my stuff seem like Band-Aids and skin knees, and people deal with real hard stuff. So I don't want to be just out there saying, you know, cheer up, it's all gonna be okay. I mean, some stuff sucks, but it's a matter of just taking that and saying, well, in my overall experience, where does that fit in? If I have like Parkinson's, is that an amorphous blob that just takes over all my life, or is it something that I can understand, accept, and look at, and be willing to deal with? And then it's just the size that it is, and then I have room to do other stuff, and so I'm just not trying to let anything become an amorphous amoeba that just eats everything without getting a chance to consider what's there.
Yeah, that's. Now, even just within that statement, your fucking optimism, even though you kind of said that you were, there's some enormous, and also because I know the story of when you fall, you fuck I mean, that's a big fucking injury.
I had a plate and.
Yeah, and then, you know, within weeks, you're on course to recover from that. So it's not bullshit, your optimism.
No, it works for me.
Yeah, and I find it astonishing sometimes, because I know, like, listen, just driving in Manhattan, which I do like a fucking moron. I drive everywhere. You know, like, even just today, I want to kill fucking 97% of the people that are out in the fucking streets, walking around or using their fucking bikes, or in California, those fucking, what do they call those things? Those fucking scooters, right? And that's an enjoyable part of my day, actually. That really gets me through the day sometimes. But it's also part of my business. Like if I write a book, if I'm doing stand-up, you know, like that rage, I can turn it into something. But you've actually organically taken whatever the problems are that the disease presents, personally in your life or overall to people who are suffering from it, and you're trying to raise money to help solve it. You have an astonishing ability to take it, and even his fundraiser that he does every year is a balls-out comedy event. It's just like you come, you pay a shitload of fucking money to be there, and from the beginning, when it was created by Mike and Tracy, the idea was you're going to come, pay money, and just laugh your fucking balls off. There's no censoring of the comedians. You talk about whatever you want, and you raise all this money for Parkinson's, but essentially it's a fucking giant comedy show. So, which reflects your optimism.
First year we started great. First year we had Dennis, Jon Stewart, and Chris Rock. It's the Woodstock of comedy.
Oh, actually, there's a couple great fucking stories. I just remembered this.
Oh, you put it with a pinky. What is that?
I don't know.
I never noticed. I've known you 100 years.
That is fucking weird. I'll tell you what I think that is, Mike. No, I'll tell you what I think that is. I think that this is proof that somewhere in my DNA there is actual royalty, and that you should phone those people at the OCOBE of Canada and say, listen, Dennis may be from fucking a three-decker in fucking downtown Worcester, Massachusetts, but he fucking sticks his pinky out when he drinks. I don't think I've ever done that before, but obviously that's in my DNA.
Yes.
There's some fucking English king fucked somebody in my family. I never would do 23andMe because my parents grew up like on a farm right next to each other. What am I gonna find out? You know what I mean? Somebody didn't drink Jameson's once. That's gonna be 23andMe at a wedding.
I did mine, and they show the map and the cluster of where your people are from, and it's all just that Caucasian alley.
Yeah. There's no
it's just white guys.
Yeah. It's just pink, angry. Listen, I don't need 23andMe. We go back to Killarney, literally both sides of my family. If you go to Killarney, look around, you're going to see somebody who looks like me or who looks like my brother, okay? Because everybody in that town fucked everybody else. And that's the O'Sullivans and the O'Learys, okay? Downtown Killarney right now, and this, I swear to God it's true, is O'Leary's Pub. That has been in my family for fucking thousands of years, that pub. And that's where most of the fucking starts, right in that pub. For thousands of years, they get drunk there, they go and they fuck. That's my 23andMe. I don't know how we got there. I was going to ask you something. Fuck. We were talking about, huh? We were talking about like optimism and.
Yeah.
Oh, the fundraiser, right. So this is you reminded me of this when you mentioned it. So this is the first time, I only met Muhammad Ali twice, both at Mike's event. The first time we do Mike's event, 2001, right? And it's a live show, but they have they have TV cameras there to broadcast it up on the big screens at the Roseland Ballroom, right? And here's the lineup. I'm hosting. It's a fucking mega lineup. Me, Chris Rock, Jon Stewart, Colin Quinn. That's the comedy lineup?
There too, yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's two surprise guests. Tony fucking Bennett, Mike doesn't know about that, and Muhammad Ali, who Mike and the crowd don't know about that, right? So at one point, this mutual friend of ours, Ted Demme, who has since passed on, who was a good friend of ours, a film director, Ted's directing the show in the room for the cameras and everything. So he comes up and tells me, listen, at a certain point, Muhammad Ali's going to come backstage, okay? But Mike can't know that he's here, so we have to time this thing right. Now, the only place you could smoke was either outside or backstage. You still smoked at the time, right? So if you were at like the big tables out in front and you wanted to smoke, you had to come backstage, right? So all of a sudden, it's countdown to the show, and somebody goes, Muhammad Ali's here. Now, we're all, like, all the comedians, we're all lined up like, we're fucking going to meet Muhammad Ali. And here he comes in the door. And he had Parkinson's, obviously, at that point, but he was still pretty functional. But it's fucking Muhammad Ali, right? We're backstage, here he comes, and we're about to meet him. All of a sudden, some PA runs up and goes, Mike Fox is coming back here to smoke a cigarette. And we go, fuck! So Ted goes, in there! And they open this door. It's a janitor's closet. I'll never forget this. And Muhammad Ali turns around, and he goes in the closet, and he goes like this to us. Shh. Right? So we're standing like, fucking, and here comes Mike, and Mike's like, hey guys, what's going on? So, what time's the show starting? Hey, man, what's going on? And in there, if he's smoking away, puts it out, keeps talking, lights up another cigarette. We're like, what the fuck? Shouldn't you get back to your table? Let's have another one. Like that. That I never, it was like a fucking sitcom setup.
Mom was so great because if you ever wanted to be invisible, it doesn't matter who you are. If you wanted to be invisible, stand beside Muhammad Ali. Because nobody would see you. No one would even know you're there. They just were so into him. He had such a command over people. Not a command because there's nothing heavy about it. It was just people just loved him and he just accepted it. And
do you remember that the second time he came, there was a magician at the show. David Blaine. David fucking Blaine. I hate magicians. I'm just going to say that up front. I hate them because I'm a comedian and ex-Catholic, and the whole fucking Catholic Church was built on magic. Ooh. Even as an altar boy, I was like, what the fuck's he talking about? That's the same fucking wine that he poured in there. That I just brought over from there. There's no fucking blood in there. What the fuck is he talking about? So anyways.
David Blaine's here.
Yeah, so David Blaine is doing the show, and Whoopi Goldberg was, I was hosting it, she was like the co-host, and Whoopi doesn't like magic either. So anyways, again, you have to go backstage to smoke at this one. And David Blaine, Mike was like, listen, David Blaine's going to do like a general magic, then he's going to come down and do close-up magic at a table. The cameras are going to move in, it's going to be on the big screens, and he's going to do a magic trick with Muhammad Ali. And I can't remember what the trick was, but when he finally went down, I do remember he took a big sewing needle, and he put it through like this part of his hand. He was like, oh, everybody goes, ooh, right? And then he went down on the table, and he's doing this card trick, like pick a card, and Muhammad Ali picks a card, and he goes like this, and when it's time to like show Muhammad his card, it's not the card. And he's like, wait a minute, that's not your card? He's like this, and Muhammad keeps going like this, and Muhammad reaches into his fucking pocket, David Blaine's pocket, and pulls the fucking card out. He completely pulled the trick on him. The fucking place goes nuts. You could see David Blaine was like, oh my God, thank you very much, David Blaine, ladies and gentlemen. Which was fucking awesome.
Muhammad would wear a fake thumb all the time, and he had a napkin, like a handkerchief up it, and he'd wear it all the time, and like you'd be an hour into a conversation or an hour into a thing with him, and then he would just go. And I felt it was just like him going, yeah, I'm still magic. I'm still the man. And he was amazing.
Yeah, he was actually an astonishing guy. Now,
let me say one thing real quick about me being optimistic and you being pessimistic or cynical or whatever.
Irish. Let's just call it Irish.
And he talked about my work with the foundation. He has done work on behalf of and with firefighters around the world. It's just so remarkable.
Yeah.
And it's a reflection of his that you gravitate towards. I mean, obviously, it had a lot to do with the fact that I had Parkinson's. Had a lot to do with the fact that I went to work on behalf of Parkinson's. You had it. I've been to a little self-serving. I might benefit from this, but to be serious, you had a family event with around firefighting, and it's just I think that's what we like about each other is that we just like go, well, this needs to get done, so let's just do it, and let's not have a big conversation about it. Let's just get it done.
Yeah, well, I think we both have the same approach to it, which is like, let's tackle whatever the thing is, but it's always better with fucking laughter. So both of our, charity things that we like to do, almost all of them involve stand-up comedy or some kind of fucking comedy, because then it's fun for us, and music, because that's the other problem with you and me, is that underneath everything, even though we're successful at these different things, we
became rock stars.
We both want to be rock stars. Yeah. Now, the truth is, you have immortality as part of your legacy. You actually are a rock star in that fucking trilogy. Johnny Be Good, right? Yeah. So every year when Mike does his event, it ends with rock and roll, right? And I'm talking like in the course of the 18 years that the event's been going on. You name Elvis Costello, the fucking Who. I mean, I can't. I'm forgetting people. Every year there's a giant rock star, and the big fucking number is Mike coming out and playing guitar on Johnny Be Good. Every year. If he doesn't do it, they get fucking rip shit. Okay. So that is a permanent part of your.
It's a medley of my hit.
Yeah, it's like
And so, in my hit.
In your own way, you have achieved Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as well as fundraising and Optimism Hall of Fame, if there is one.
Yeah, but we're hoping for one.
We're hoping for one. And then we'll have to have a Sarcasm Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. You like burn stuff in.
But the other fucking thing I wanted to talk about, because we were on that subject, and that's legacy, right? So when they talk about, I realized that when I was reading the intros and seeing this stuff on Twitter, because you are basically forever now, you will be national treasure. They'll refer to you that way. You will always be Back to the Future and national treasure. When I said it to Tracy, I was like, national treasure. She was like, try living with one. But
yeah, Tracy's national
it goes back to that, which is, it doesn't matter what they call you and all the pins they give you and all this other bullshit. When you go home, it doesn't mean anything. As a matter of fact, you're probably more uncool the cooler you think you are. And the more people say stuff about you in public, your kids think you're less cool, is the truth of the legacy.
You know how uncool I am at home, is that especially now, because I move a little slower because I'm still recovering from this thing, and I'll be like in my pajama shorts and my t-shirt, and watching a hockey game in the back, in my den, and then I'll hear my daughters or Tracy and any combination of people in the hallway having a conversation, and I'll be like, what are they talking about? I mean, I might have something to say about this. And so I'll kind of hobble out to the hallway and turn, and I'll see them, and they're dispersing, and they're going. And there are my baggy gray, sleepy, pathetic shorts and my gray t-shirt, and I was like, "What's up, guys?" And I'm like Joan Crawford, and we're having a baby Jane. And I said to my daughter, I said, "I got to tell you, there's this thing that happens where my daughters," and I said, "where everybody's doing something, and I don't get there. I feel I should." "Oh, you have FOMO." I said, "What's FOMO?" He said, "Fear of missing out. It's part of this." And one thing I hate the internet even more because there's this language I don't speak. But I mean that's FOMO. That's my parenting style. And I was fear of missing out, so I inject myself into stuff that I don't even belong. Just so I don't miss something out.
And it takes you longer to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time I get there, everybody's gone. And it really is. I'm down in the hallway, and it's just like, man!
You as Joan Crawford, man, that is fucking fantastic. As many different images in my head I have of you, you have now taken whatever happened to Baby Jane, and every time I see that title or a picture of Joan Crawford, I'm going to think of you, which is fantastic.
Great.
That's part of your legacy as well.
Well,
that's the thing now, is you start to think about, at a certain age, when you start to hear words like national treasure, and when you're doing charity work on the scale that you do it, you know what they're going to say about you basically when you're gone, and what your legacy is going to be. But the true legacy is at home, it's, hey, what the fuck are they talking about? Let me go find out. When you get there, not only do you not know, they're not going to fucking tell you.
I have a part where it says, so-and-so died today, none of it matters. It only matters when you're alive. You're doing it for, like I was thinking the other day about cave painters, guys that painted caves. And then it made me think about like landscape architects during like time of Versailles and stuff. And these people that create stuff that's they're never gonna see it. These cave painters, that was not for them. That was for some other thing that was going to happen. And they made their mark and they left their contribution. And these landscape architects build this stuff. They build these gardens. And it wasn't until like 300 years later that they flowered and the trees became the shape that the guy envisioned they would be. And I just think those guys are kick-ass because they're not in it for instant gratification. They're in it for the long haul. So the stuff that I do, I don't even think about it like, well, I don't give a shit what somebody thinks about it. Now I'm going to do it whether you like it or not. I'm going to do it. But maybe it'll be going on after I'm gone. Maybe stuff will get figured out after I'm gone. I'll have had something to do with it, and that'll be great.
Well, yeah, I mean, right, and I know you don't want to talk about science, and we're not going to talk about science, although I love science, and don't we all now? But that is true, you know, in terms of what you're doing with your foundation. You know, once you get the ball rolling down the hill, that's a ball that will just keep rolling and rolling and rolling.
Yeah, one thing I'm really excited about is we're really zoning in now on finding out why it happens, and we have enough indicators to put together cohorts or groups of people. First, initially, a big giant group that have 5 or 6 indicators that you may have Parkinson's, including some genetic things, Ashkenazi Jew, problems tasting, smelling, just little things that you might not think about that put you in a group that has an outside shot of maybe getting Parkinson's, and then we make those groups smaller. It becomes like a Venn diagram, and hopefully we want to get to where we get down to a very small group so we know what the deal is, and we're in that process now. And when we do that, then we can treat it prophylactically. And because by the time I had symptoms in my hand, 70% of the dopamine producing cells in my brain were already gone. So if we can go in there, we can figure out at the beginning, before any of those cells die, that they're going to die, we can stop it from happening. And that is very real. That could happen within a few years.
Pretty amazing. It's actually amazing to think about. Literally, it's what year is this? 2000. Yeah, it's like the last 20 years through the foundation. You know how much ground you've covered, and how many advances you've made forward. You know,
I thought 20 years. I thought if this takes 20 years, I can't imagine. I was so naive. I didn't realize we had to rebuild the whole. Not us personally, but we had to be part of a community of science-based organizations that pushed it forward and pushed it in a new paradigm for how to do this, because the old way wasn't working. And when we started the foundation, I said I don't want to have an endowment. I don't want to pile up money and money comes in, it goes out. Science has to be ahead of the money. We have to identify the best science and say it's coming. The next check's for you. And we've been able to do that for 20 years now, and we're really feeling it now. We're making breakthroughs.
Amazing. It's amazing. So we should probably go to questions now from the audience. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. What do we have to do for that? If we want to do Q&A, guys, I'm so powerful. Maybe if you say it, something will happen. Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, look.
Do I have to call on the people? Yes. Oh. Where are the mics? Oh, you're just going to run to them? All right, let's go here. Mike should just call on people. It's his fucking thing. He's the sir. He's the knight.
What is your biggest dream now in terms of any projects or any other big endeavors that you want to do?
Where's my dream now? My dream project? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yes?
Yeah. What is your biggest dream in terms of biggest projects or any other ideas you?
Oh, I don't know. I've done so much stuff. Now I'm just into surprises. Now I'm just into whatever comes up next. I mean, so many wonderful things have come into my life. I've had a lot of fun this year with watching my wife Tracy and her terrific sisters Lori and Dana and their mother Corky made this cookbook called Mostly Plants. And I watched these guys work on this. Yeah. I watched these guys work on this cookbook, and just put their lives into it. And then it came out last week, and it made the New York Times bestseller list. And it was just like,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Best-selling cookbook.
That's nothing I did. I had nothing to do with it except I ate the food, which was great. And but like I don't so much think about things happening to me. I mean, my kids are now all going into adulthood, and it's just great to see the things that they do and things they're involved in, and so it doesn't have to be about me. Something will show up for me to do. I'll get a part in something or do something. That just goes with territory. That just goes with being alive. Stuff shows up. But I'm interested in the stuff that happens to the people I care about.
Are you going to write another book?
I'm writing another book right now.
Okay. What's the subject?
I'm calling it Why We Don't Suck. You're an asshole. You know, he does this thing, just digress. He does this thing every year at our benefit. He talks about our benefit. He has this fantastic band, the Enablers.
Yeah.
And they sing a song about me every year. And it's just, he always showed these pictures of like the most goofy Alex P. Keaton photographs they can find. And play these songs about what an asshole I am. It just touches me every year.
By the way, we write a song about how much Mike sucks every year, and the guy who likes the song the most is always fucking Mike. I mean, the audience always laughs, but Mike's like, I fucking love the way you guys shit on me this year. That fucking why we suck thing made me fucking cry. Yeah.
Something joke.
They have to run down with the mic?
Hi. First of all, for Mr. Leary, my dad's birthday is today, and I mentioned I was coming to this event, and he's been a firefighter for 35 years.
Oh, God.
And he's still on the truck.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you, guys. So he wanted to just say thank you, and I want to say thank you for all the work you do for firefighters and their families. And his exact words was, tell him thank you for all he does for the brothers. So, yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
But my question for Michael J. Fox is, I was introduced to the Back to the Future movies as a little kid from my mom, and I was just absolutely obsessed with them. And I just wanted to know, out of the three, which one was your favorite one to work on in the process?
Well, I think, I mean, I could think about it, but it has to be the first one, because it was such a surprise to me. It shocked me. They just called me out of nowhere. I didn't know that they'd been talking to me doing it long before it happened. But it just, things changed, and all of a sudden they brought me in, and it was so quick. I was doing Family Ties and Back to the Future at the same time. I was walking on the set. I was walking into the kitchen looking for Doc. I was completely out of my mind, and somehow I got through it. And it was just, I think about it like, I was with Leah and Tom Wilson and Chris Lloyd and James Tolkien, who played Strickland, Slackers. On the weekend, and just those people are just such beautiful people, and so there's such an affection we have for the movie that when we have these meet and greets with fans of the movie, it's so special, because it's like there's very little. I mean, their experience was our experience. The audience's experience was the same as our experience. We were just like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. It's really cool. And like one day I'm 58 and I realize I'm in like a version of Wizard of Oz. Like just a movie that's gonna be around.
Listen, I'm just gonna speak from my own point of view. Way better than fucking Wizard of Oz. All three of them. I'm just telling you. I never liked those flying monkeys. But that flying car, and that shit is funny, man. That was...
I remember this, when I found out that because we had 5 kids in the military family, and I always say, like, if you want to know who has the most kids or the least kids in a military housing thing. Whoever's got the best car or the color TV, they have less kids. And what we had a lot of kids to think. So we didn't have color TV. We had black and white TV. And I remember when I discovered, I remember saying to my sister, "Wizard of Oz? It goes color halfway through." I swear, Bobby told me he's on TV tonight. It's like after the thing, man, it's going color. I felt so like wow, and I loved it already. And then I started coloring. And then I smoked a joint and played with Pink Floyd. And I gave up both Pink Floyd and joints. And Wizard of Oz.
Those were both good decisions, by the way.
Yeah.
Not a Pink Floyd fan. Nope. I melted that record. My brother had that record. I fucking melted it. And the Grateful Dead. Melted them. And recently my brother actually said to me, he said, "You know what, I look back now, he beat the shit out of me for both those. I melted those. And he said, "You know, I look back now, you really did me a favor when you melted those Grateful Dead records." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I did." Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, well, this will be the last question in this section, then we'll move around. Right back there. Why am I still picking him? You should be picking him.
You know, you're landing the plane. You're not here.
Right back to...
Over here.
Yeah.
Hello. I am the fan for Back to the Future. I am very proud to Michael J. Fox to start his career in the movie. And I have this question: who tell you to start acting in the Back to the Future? A friend, a film director, or author?
Who's going to take up acting?
Yeah, who tell you to start acting in the Back to the Future?
Oh, well,
yeah. How did you get into the Back to the
yeah, I got into it. They began production and they had some questions about the actor that they had playing Marty McFly. He was a brilliant actor, and so they just wanted to go goofy. And so they looked me up and I came in and did Goofy and it was it worked out, but it was a strange thing. It happened very fast. Like I said, I went into my boss's office on Family Ties and he said they wanted me to give you this a month ago, but I couldn't let you out of the show. So it stayed in the envelope, but they wanted to have it now, and I opened it up, and it was the script of Back to the Future. And he said, "You have to do the show and the movie at the same time, and you'd be working 18 hours a day." And I said, "Where do I sign?"
But now, isn't there... I mean, I'm trying to remember who told me the story, if it was you or if it was somebody else, but didn't Spielberg go... or somebody went to Spielberg and said, "What about this guy that, you know, he's got comedy timing, is on this fucking show. This is our new guy, right?" So did you have to get on the phone with Spielberg or go see Spielberg?
No, what happened was they'd gone to Gary before, like weeks before.
Oh.
And Gary said, "I can't let him out of the show. I thought my show was finally, we just started to take off. And after 3 seasons, we were starting to do well. And he said, I kill my momentum. And I understood that. When he told me that he had done that he made that decision before, I understood it. I said, it makes complete sense. I wouldn't let me go either. But he let me go, and I did both projects at the same time. And it was just such a great, generous thing for him to do, because he didn't have to. And so then Stephen and it was like, literally, like I said this thing, the next day I was at a beach house that was being rented by Frank Marshall and Kathy Kennedy, who are big producers associated with Stephen. And then Stephen was there, and we're picking out clothes, and it's just, it was strange. I mean, all this stuff, like the shoes Marty wore, Nikes, the whole Nike thing came. I was wearing Nikes when I went to the beach. I was wearing Nike Cortezes with the red stripe and the white shoe, and they said, "What kind of shoes you want to wear?" And I said, "These work okay." And then bang, there's a Nike Back to the Future connection with one we never knew. Like it took years to come to fruition, but little decisions. I mean, yeah, when I wear those goofy Guess jeans, I didn't know. Like now, 2020, I'd be looking at myself in those goofy tight pants and suspenders and.
Yeah, but it's all fucking. You talk about the Wizard of Oz. It's all iconic shit now, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it was just stuff. It was just like the bottom line is the movies are just people expressing themselves and working together and creating stuff. What I like about talking about books and movies, apropos of nothing, but with a movie or a television show, as someone who works on it, it's a stream, it's a river, and it's going, and it's moving, and it's doing what it does. And there are people in and around the river, and they're doing what they're doing, and you just join in with them, and you catch the flow, and you carry it along. When you're writing a book, you wake up, and it's just you, and it's a pond flat as hell, and you got to swim across it, and every day you do that, and it's no kind of reward, but it's fun to get in the stream every now and then.
Okay, let's go to a different section. I have such power. There's somebody double waving their arms over there. No, it's...
Hello.
Well, we'll come to you. You'll be next. How's that? Okay. I have such fucking power.
Hi, it's a question for the both of yous. I wanted to ask for young actors, what would be the one advice that you would give, or the one rule that you would recommend, or anything?
Well,
brush your teeth. I swear to God, if I could give anybody, any young actor, brush your teeth and do scope, because you're gonna get in the director's face, and you might be bringing in the scene, but if you blow blue cheese in his face, or you have a kissing scene with an actress, and it's just a brush your teeth.
You never heard that on Inside the fucking Actor Studio, now did you? And that is why he's a goddamn sir. That's why they gave him the OC. What is it?
OC, or Canada.
Okay.
Obsessive compulsive.
And then we were going to go here. What about me? Oh, what's my advice? My advice, wow, for acting? For an actor, I would say the most important thing is, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. It's fuck you. Like when people tell you no, just so many comedy club owners, acting teachers in my life, and then casting directors told me no, or there's no way, or whatever, and that would always make me just go, fuck you. You know what I mean? There's no way you're ever going to work. You're not going to work like this. You're not that funny. You're never going to be able to do that. What are you, crazy? In my head, I would go, fuck you, fuck you. And at a certain point, I actually just said to people, you know what? Fuck you. So that's good. You know what I mean? You need that. Because a lot of people in this business are wrong.
I think another thing that just made me think of, sorry, but on line of what I tell young actors, is that there's a tendency to want to be outside of what you're doing and affected from the outside, like act from the outside of the character. And then you see things like, I found out this other day because I was flying with a business associate of mine, and she was watching Godfather on
oh yeah
thing, and it was the scene where in the restaurant where he's got the gun, he's come back from the toilet and he's got the gun, and they're talking. Police chief and then the mafioso are talking, and he's just about wanting to get up and shoot this guy, and Pacino is so fucking unbelievable good in this. And he's just like it's so incredible, and he just goes there, and he's not looking at what he's not I'm thinking you so embody this moment and this decision and this crisis in this guy's life and where he finds himself. And you're not even trying to do it, you're just feeling it. And then there's a similar one in A Place in the Sun, Well, Montgomery Clift is on the phone, and Shelley Winters is pregnant and is hawking him. And you can see him make the decision there to kill her. And you can just you see him on the phone. He's, I'm gonna kill you. But he doesn't say it. And that's why I say, like, to young actors, don't be afraid to go there. Go to where you don't even know, where you see the shit yourself. And that was a little bit like with you, Sean. I don't put it anywhere near Al Pacino at Montgomery Clift. It was just Alex B. Keaton on your show. But it's really great to go to that place where you go, you finish your take and you go, what the hell was that?
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. I remember that somebody telling me that, and then you go back and watch it. But a great actor once told me early in my career in the movies. I'm trying to again. It's written down somewhere. But somebody, it might have been fucking De Niro. I don't know, or Eastwood. It was some big iconic guy. But somebody in the room we were reading through a scene of something had said, "Fuck, I got no fucking lines in the scene," and then left the room. And he said, don't fucking count the lines. Count the moments, right? And later, somebody was telling me about, watch Steve McQueen. And this actor had done an interview who had worked with Steve McQueen, and he said he was always giving his lines away. Whenever there was a fucking pipe delay, especially, he'd go like, hey, why don't you take this paragraph? And guys were in the movie with Steve McQueen in the scene with him. They're like, fuck, he just gave me 8 lines.
Pipe.
Yeah. Meanwhile, watch the movie. You're saying all the lines, and the close-up is on his fucking face. And all he's doing is listening. And if you watch him listen the way you watch Pacino in that scene, those other guys are talking, he's got the gun in his pocket. All you're doing is watching fucking Al Pacino. He doesn't have a single fucking line.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like, forget about the fucking lines, man. It's all, especially in movies, television now, it's all in here, you know? It's in here, and then it comes out here, you know?
There's little practical things, like little day-to-day stuff. Like when you have a scene like that and you're on the phone, we tend to talk on the phone like this, but to get your eyes up, and we can see who's on the phone with you, and we can see what they're saying. It's all kinds of little tricks, but it starts with oral hygiene. I have nothing else.
Our time is up. Guys, thank you very much. Michael J. Fox. Sir Michael J. Fox.
Thank you.